Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are here. We got something pretty cool for you. Of course, we are joined by everybody's favorite gamer.
What's goody?
So, here on my computer, I got a document here, which you also have in front of you. And this is a list of every single one of the tracks, basically. There's a few that we left out. But basically, every track that we've made in GTA. And there's a lot of them. And we're going to go through and we're going to try to rank them all. So we both went through, picked a bunch. I wrote them all out on here. We also have who created each one and the letter grade that we will be giving them. You ready for this, gamer?
Yes. And what? Yes.
What else were you going to say?
I was gonna say, what are we grading it on?
I
I mean, I don't know if we were jumping into this or if you were explaining anymore. But
no, I'm ready to go. The only thing I was going to explain is that a lot of these tracks we've made a while ago. I picked ones from 2020 to now. I know you picked a few older ones. So we may switch over to the game itself and try out a few of them for a lap or two if we don't really remember what they are. But I don't know. How do you think we should grade them? I mean, I think that based on how good of a track it is, you can determine by first how it was built. I mean, a lot of them might be good, might not be good. And of course, there's a few that we've definitely raced in the playlist.
there's a bunch we've definitely raced in the playlist at this point.
So we can definitely go through and decide based on that how they were in the playlist, were the races competitive. I mean, I don't know. We can, I guess, take a look as we continue along if you want to start.
If I want to start?
No, I'm just saying if you want to, like, if you're ready to start, unless you got anything else you
Oh,
want to
yeah. I'm ready to start.
All right, so we're going to each be grading it separately. And then we're going to have, like, a combined grade, kind of what's in the middle of what we have or whatever. Is that how we want to do it? What's in the middle of what we have?
I was gonna say, like, we could have our own letter grade, and then kind of how, like, Rhett and Link do, we can come up with, like, an agreement
Okay.
to what we both think, and not so much of a combined score, because I feel like it would be more like... I feel like it would be better that way.
I mean, we're basically Rhett and Link if they weren't popular, so...
Right, I'm right.
So, yeah, let's start with it. So first of all, we have the hashtag playlist at home GP. Of course, this is a race from 2020 that I designed. I'm be honest.
The new one or the old one?
The old one? What do you mean the old one?
Didn't you have two? That one that was your track there that was in the city that you recently updated?
The one in the sky?
Yeah.
No, that's the Epic CW Grand Prix 2021.
Okay.
So the playlist at home GP, this was like a complete shit track. I'm be honest, I'm gonna rate this shit a fucking F. I absolutely hated it. This is... I made it down near the... Like, you have your Elysian Loop. It's down, like, right off the bridge from there. I don't know if you remember it. Like, you could barely drive on it. It was terrible.
I'll give it a D for now, because I don't want to say something's an F and there be like a track that we need to have this in.
Okay.
Because I don't know what it looks like, and I can't judge based on it. So I'm gonna give it a D.
Okay. You gonna type your letters in?
Yeah, did it not pop up?
I think you're clicked in the box. Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta click out of the box, or I can't see it. All right. So I think collectively, I think D is a good start. for a collective score. I mean, I agree with the points that you made on it. So I don't know. I think that's one we gotta discuss. All right. Next up, we have the playlist at home Grand Prix. This is the one that we had that I made with the tire walls, but we had some decent playlist races with it. It kind of went through the city, then you took like a right turn, then you went left. There was like a long straight, and then like a weird little chicane in the middle, and then you went up a hill and then back down and around. And I believe
Sounds like a C track.
and that was one that I know we raced with the I believe hot rings. I think we had some solid races on it, but it definitely was like I gotta agree it's a C on that one. So if you want to put a C in our collective column, I mean, if we give it a same score, I mean, I don't. The fuck? Oh, I know what you did. Filled in our names on accident. All right, 707 Vespucci. This is your track, your first one. So explain to us a little bit about this one.
This 707 Vespucci is actually inspired by by one of the heists. There's a location called 707 Vespucci, and it's actually a building, and it's nowhere near the Vespucci Canals. But I thought that was a really dank name for it, and it's kind of an interesting area, and it's definitely made for a lot of good races. When we've raced at it, and we've had it in the playlist about 4 or 5 times now, so it's pretty swag. I would definitely rate it one of the better tracks. Do you think we should have another letter grade?
I mean, I think it's something that. Yeah, I feel like we could do an E and then an F just because I feel lots of times you do have 6 when you do a tier listing like this. And the only reason for anybody to wonder why we're not doing an S tier is because when you click at the top of the box here, you can sort alphabetically. And we want to find out which the best track is. But if I sort alphabetically, S will go to the bottom and not the top. So I think we should do that,
Okay.
though.
So for Vespucci, right now...
Real quick, should we adjust any of the tracks above?
No. I don't have any adjust.
I mean, I feel mine that's an F is a bit low just based on that. So I'm going to make that an E. But that's the only thing I think we got to change.
Okay, so I'm going to say that 707 is... I'm going to say it's an A tier.
A?
Yeah, actually...
I mean, put whatever you feel.
No, actually, no. No,
A.
B. I want to say it's B.
Make sure you click off that box as well. I'm going to give it... I think a lot of the points you made are definitely true about it. I think it's a very good track. I think the one thing that... I think the only thing you can really hold against it is the water slowing you down when you race certain cars.
I was just thinking.
So I think just based on that, I'm gonna go C for now.
Really? Okay.
So I guess collectively, where do we rank this one?
Depends on how much of a C you think it is, because I think it's high B.
I think I'd be willing to go B just because I was debating between B and C in that moment. I just went with C. So I think we can definitely go B on it. All right. So 707 Vespucci reverse. Just as a note, also the tracks that you have made, so everybody knows out there, he has the R in the front of the name and not at the end. Mine have it at the end. The reason I did it this way, again, the sorting, it would put all the ones with this at the very top, and I wanted them to be together because if we're talking about both tracks, we're talking about one track, it makes sense to talk about the reverse at the same time. So,
Alright, so, this Fuji reverse, we haven't really done this one much. We just tested it like the other day. So I didn't really get to see the limits of it, but I would say that it's a lot better than the forward version, or not a lot better, but better than the forward. So I'm gonna rate it B. Just because I'm not sure yet if it's A class.
I'm going to agree with B. I think it was definitely better than C. Or C. Better than the regular one, which I put as a C, so I figured put it at B. Let them both, let it get a B, and I think that's something that we'll agree is B then. All right. Then we have the Airport Bull Ring. This is the one that we did with the Buffalo STX. I think that track, like you had stated when we tried it, worked well with the fact that the STX was a little slower than the open wheel cars on it. And I feel that made the race a little bit more enjoyable. So I think that the Airport Bull Ring, I would go B on that as well. Because I feel like it's a proper bull ring, a little bit better than the FTX bull ring, as we now have a way to make it a proper bull ring.
Yeah, and so what did you say it was? B?
B.
I'm gonna say it's B too.
Alright, you can fill in both columns of B then. So Airport Bull Ring F1, same thing, just with open wheel cars. I'd give that. I think after racing the other one, that's a B. I feel like that one's a C, just because
Are you recording this one as well? The screen?
the one with the notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one we're typing on is the main video. And then if I want to, I can go to Streamlabs and then switch what we're recording to the PlayStation screen. So Airport Bull Ring F1, I think I'm going to give it a C just after racing the STX. Like, I feel like it's both good, but I feel like the fact that you can't really use the BR8 on it takes away from that a little bit. Wait, I messed up here. This should be Roval. This shouldn't be GP. Wait.
I'm going to
Hello?
I'm actually going to go back and edit the post to home GP to be E. And then I'm going to...
So is our collective score on that going to be E then, right?
Yeah. Then I'm going to... I'm going to say for this... D.
Alright, so a collective score for that, I feel is... You said D you're going to go with? I feel like C is the appropriate one for it. I guess explain why you gave it D instead of C.
I gave it D because it's just not for the reasons of the BR8 not being used. I don't usually use the BR8 like over the PR4 if I had the option, but it's
And it's
I
only because of
just
the pits, honestly. Like,
yeah, it really is.
I mean, I think it's something that just on that, I feel collectively should be a C. Um, I don't know. Do you agree with that, or?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So the next one we have is the um, airport bullring roval. That is the one that I thought all of it was good until that last turn. I feel that last turn definitely takes away from it. So I'd give that one D as well. So next up is the airport GP. Um, airport GP. I I know you're a fan of this one. We did it in the race playlist. Why don't you explain what you think on it? Because you like this track more than I do.
Yeah, so the shark. I just like the fact that it kind of has the elements of. It was the first track that we saw have elements of like going into the air from the ground. And I like that, and you had long stretches of long straights on the ground, long straights in the air. You got a bunch of turns. It was competitive, and then the pits I believe were pretty interesting because you had the option to hit it twice.
Yeah.
So thought that was all pretty cool too. So with that, I was gonna give it an A, and the reason I give it an A is because um, I think it's the best, one of the best that you've made, and if I'm judging that based off of what I think the best track you made is, then that's definitely an A.
All right. First A on the board, but I don't believe it's going to be the first A collectively because I personally not the biggest fan of this track. I feel like it's a starter track. I feel like it's one that you can learn a lot of things from for future building, and I think that I did, but I don't necessarily like. I feel like the way that you enter the first turn, that main straight, like I like the idea of it crossing over twice. I just don't really like the first one such a sharp initial turn, and I really don't like the pit's location. I think pitting twice in a lap is interesting, but in playlist rules, I don't like it. So I'm going with a C.
All right.
So I know we weren't gonna do like just middle scores, but I feel like that's a solid one just to
Yeah.
go on B. Um, all right, it's back to you. You get to talk about another track.
Um, Air Race City Skylines is
Oh, that's
one
right,
that
Hammer Means.
yeah. Um, we did that race recently in playlist we've done. That might be coming up soon, and it's just I think it's actually the only airplane race that I've made. So, I mean, for what it is, it's good, I guess. I really don't know how to judge it because this is made a long time ago, and I wasn't as good at making tracks, and it's the only one that I've made, so I don't have anything else to go off of. But I mean, I guess I'll give it a what's a good middle score? C.
So I'm gonna go C on this because I really like this track for being a plane race or a helicopter race. I don't like air races. We did the plane list. I got absolutely bodied. I hate flying. Um, if there's a way in GTA to get somewhere that does not involve flying, I will do it. Um, so pretty much most of the time, you won't see me flying. So I definitely don't like those races. But this one here, I think, was a honestly fun race to do with helicopters. So I'm gonna give it a C, mid tier track because flying is mid. All right, this is the Aramco Los Santos GP 2022, otherwise known as the IBCW Grand Prix 2022. This is the one that I did in the sky that was recreated from the previous one. So I personally think that this is a solid track. It was one of the first open wheel tracks that did a little update to it. I think that it was better than the first one. So I'm going to give it a B for its upgrades because I feel like it cut out some of the section, like after the really long straight that was like kind of an annoying zigzag section. And coming towards the end where there's like a weird overlap with track pieces, I definitely cleaned that up. So I think that it's a solid track in that way.
And I agree with you. I like the changes, and originally the first one was kind of mid, so it definitely was a good refresher to see that.
See, I think the other thing that's interesting is when we get an updated track, we tend to not like the other one as much. I know you used to like the other one a lot, and then you said it was mid after racing this one. So it's kind of interesting to sort of see how that shifts. I think we've seen it with the, with the airport bull rings. Like that one, we liked the open wheel one, and then racing the Buffalo STX on it, we're just like, maybe not. So it's interesting to see how that shuffles. All right, next one. This is yours, the Bombay Rally Endurance.
So Bombay Rally Endurance is actually one of the longest races. I mean, I'm sure
I forgot about
got like a we've got a meme long race in there somewhere that one of us has created. This is the longest race that we've created that has actually been like featured in multiple episodes of the race playlist and raced outside of the race playlist and actually been done. So this race is one of the first rallies I had made when we were introducing that into the playlist, and thought it'd be really interesting to do something long and kind of just have like a nice sprint through the woods, and it features a nice kind of mix of both tarmac and dirt. So it is a really good track. I would personally rate it a C because it takes a long time to do the race. I think it's like a 9-minute race. Um, and a lot can happen in 9 minutes, and it's not a race that like you stay close together, so something could happen to one person and then like another thing happens to another person. And if you don't pick the same car, then you're kind of fucked if you crash and you get left behind. There's a lot of variables to this race that you typically wouldn't see on a race uh, that's just standard lap race. And that's one thing I forgot to mention is that this is the first race also that was not a lap race, was actually point to point.
Now, I feel like on that, you saying it wasn't a lap race, but in a race playlist context, making it a lap race, like it had that same feel of a track with laps. I personally really liked it.
It did, but it fucking just because it looped back around on itself, but it didn't finish where it started.
I'm not gonna go all the way to A. I'm gonna go B, but I think that it was a good rally track. I think introduced quite a few things to the playlist. Introduced a little bit of chaos, the thing that we hadn't done before. I think that was the race that we conceived the idea for the ultimate weight up. Um, or at least it came to discussions after that race, and it introduced the Ron in your tank signs as lap points. So I think it was a interesting twist of something we hadn't seen in the playlist. So I'd give it a B. Um,
And just because you said that, now reevaluating, I would definitely want to change my answer to B as well, because it was extremely influential, and honestly, it did have a lot of like rules that changed in the playlist specifically because of this race or shortly after this race. So you're right. I think it deserves a little bit more credit.
I like when we agree. It makes the scores in the end easy. Um, all right, Caesar's Palace GP Oval. Now we've only done this once, but I think it's one that racing it together, not in a playlist sense, complete shit. Um, so basically, there's a Caesar's Palace Grand Prix track, which is a F1 track in the '80s. I recreated it in GTA, and then there was an oval one they used in IndyCar after F1 said "fuck this track" and left. So I made the oval, and I personally think the oval is pretty trash for just racing. So I'm gonna go all the way down to an E. I think in a playlist sense, if we get there and race in the playlist, it could be good. The ovals of the open wheel cars have been good, but just from the race we did in it, I did not like it. I didn't even like it testing it.
I mean, I have to agree with you. I'm not going to give it about a score. I'm definitely going to give it a D, but it's not a favorite of mine
So
either.
I'd be cool going to D as a collective score.
I mean, mine's a low D.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, mine's like a high E. So either score, I mean, I don't feel like it's as bad as the Playlist at Home GP is, which is also an E. So I would personally, collectively think D is the best route to go.
All right, we could do that then.
Now, the Caesars Palace Grand Prix, the full course, I think was a solid track for the playlist. It provided us some good racing, provided us a few shorts. If we stayed close in it, it always raced well. Lots of times we wouldn't stay close. One of us would crash, but I think that in races we stayed close, it was good. I'd give it a B.
I would definitely give it a B as well. That was definitely a swag track that we had in the playlist.
All right, Chansky Rally Cup.
All right, I'm going to talk about this one a little bit. The Chansky Rally Cup was pretty interesting because that was a race that actually I made a very long time ago. It was one that I made back in 2019, and it was one that was kind of bare bones, and I went back once I started making races again, and I kind of like revamped it. It was the first race that I really got to work with the new track pieces and got to lay them out and really work on the track. And because of that, and because of wait, which one was it? The Chansky Rally Cup or
This is just Rally Cup. This isn't reverse or 2022.
Okay, yeah. So
2022 is the one you updated with like the Joker lap and things, right?
2022 is the one. No, Rally Cup is the one with the scenic route.
So what's Rally Cup 2022 then?
Oh no, Rally Cup 2022 is the scenic route, but there is one called Chansky Cup 2022. Whatever one says 2022 does not have the scenic route. It's just
Okay, and then the one that says Rally Cup has the Joker lap.
yes.
Okay. So is that the one you pulled out in the sprint the other day?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, yeah, give your score first.
Well, I'm just you have to give your score first because but I was gonna just say in conclusion that that track is definitely the foundation for what the Rally Cup and the Reverse Rally Cup were.
I mean, you can give me your score. I can fill it in for you.
I would say Rally Cup was a C.
Okay. I would give that race. I don't really like that layout. Like, thinking of the reverse one, I don't like that layout that much. So I'm going to go D just because of that. All right, so collectively, what are we thinking here then? Like, are you a high C, low C? Where are you at?
It's a high C. Actually, it's just a C.
I mean, I'm at like a high D, so I'm definitely cool with agreeing on C on that one. Now, the reverse Chansky Rally Cup, though. That one.
That one's swag.
That one I'm going B. I think that's a top, like, almost top tier.
I think that one is an A.
You back to fill it in? All right, cool.
Just because it's the reverse layout. It's the one that we've done probably, besides Sonora, the race that we've done the most amount of times of the races that I've made. And it's also the one that we've done the most outside of the race playlist with dudes. So just for that, like, I mean, it's just been like a part of our just daily GTA kind of just game. So I would rate it an A.
Okay, so this is interesting. Are you like firm A? Like
pretty firm A, yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking of other rally tracks. That's why I didn't go A on it. But I think collectively, it is something we could go. I would be fine with an A on it. So, Chiansky Rally Cup Reverse is the first track that has A. Now, Chansky Rally Cup 2022 is the one without the Joker lap. So, I'd say that without having the Joker lap, I'd put it about the same as the.
Wait. It was the. Hold on. Oh my god, hold on, let me set this. I think it was the. Did I write it down? Yeah, it was Chansky Cup 2022.
Is it not called Chansky Rally Cup?
No, there's one Chansky Rally Cup, there's one Chansky Rally Cup Reverse, and then there's one Chansky Cup 2022.
I must have just filled it in real quick then.
And that one is the one that does not have the scenic route. This one right now.
And it's the same as the Chansky Rally Cup, just without that.
Yes.
All right. I mean, I'm gonna go D just because I did the first one. It's the same track. Like, it's one little change. It doesn't really change my score. If anything, I'll go lower on it just because it doesn't have that. Like, lower D. So collectively, what are we thinking here? Like
probably D then.
D? Okay. Constructive criticism.
This was the race that we had done recently, where this is actually one of my first. This is actually one of my first stunt races before stunt tracks were even thought of in the game. Um, this was going. It had a basic ramps jumping into the STD construction site, and then you kind of drove through the whole like building that they were constructing. It was a very wild race for 2014. Now, not so much. I would definitely give it an E.
Yeah, and I wouldn't go to F just because I think that it's
It's not a terrible race. It's
no,
just
it just doesn't stand up to what the levels are now. Like if we did this list in 2014, 2015, then probably be like C, B.
yeah. I wouldn't. I wouldn't say B. I
Well,
was gonna B back then. It's not a B now. Whoa.
I mean, we don't know what we were thinking back then, though. I think that we did like that track a lot back then. All right, what do you got here? Cooperation V 1.6. The fuck is this?
Yeah. This was. This was okay. This race, you don't know it much, but it's a race that we did through the city, and actually, this could be the first race that we do if you want to try this. There was a point in GTA where there was double money on basic races, and this was a
Yeah,
race
let's switch over. Let's
that
try
we
it
had,
out. I mean, keep talking about it, but
this was a race that we had done that was it was just long enough so that by the time we finished, we just had to wait a minute, and then we drove past the finish line and we got the double money, and we would just switch off and get 20,000 each time.
I do remember doing that.
And
I just don't remember the track layout at all.
yes, this is the track that we did this on, and it's a shitty track, but just because we've used it so much for double money, I would say that it's D.
All right, switch my setup here. I want to see it before I officially rate it. But I mean, just based on the fact that it's an old track, I'm sure it's not going to be highly rated.
All right. In the meantime, how about we skip ahead to one?
Yeah, let me load because I was in the creator, so let me load back into GTA. Switch back to display capture real quick. Cranstonburg Hotel GP. I am on, so you can invite me whenever you're back. I think the Cranstonburg Hotel GP, a recent one on the playlist. I really, really liked racing that track. I think that your creativity with the pits and your just the overall track, like it got us to maybe reevaluate some of the safety car rules, make them better. I think that it provided us with very, very good moments in the playlist. I mean, it was one of those tracks that whenever it popped up, like, was creating short moments for us. So I think this is gonna be the first track I'm gonna give an A.
Big. Not to say that I'm very surprised with your rating, because I agree. Cranstonburg, definitely, when I had made it, it was like when you made the Richmond. Actually, I made it right after that because of the hotel, and I just really I liked the simplicity of it. I wanted to do something similar because, again, we were doing. You had just made your hotel race. In the playlist, we had the uh, the introduction of the rings, the small bull rings and rovals and shit like that. So I had just started to come up with ideas to kind of do my own version of that. And Cranstonburg Hotel was similar to making like a loop track. And it's just what we have now.
Yeah, I mean that was one. That was one of the tracks that since we've had the playlist limit of everything has to be gone in 4 races. That was one of the few that I was like, damn, that's got to go. Like, because before we didn't have that rule. It's kind of like, I'm gonna drop between 4 and 6 races each episode. But then to kind of create a level of we're getting new tracks in, and also way to kind of force us to cycle out some of these old tracks, like that was introduced, and I feel that that track. Oh my god, that track was one of the ones that I didn't really want to see go. We got traffic on. Let's go. Let's go. Bro, this feels so weird to be doing this track with these cars. Like,
It does feel really fucking weird. Even though it's something you drive around similar in this area all the time, like it's very weird because I'm now you remember this track, I'm sure.
yeah, I didn't remember the name of it, but once you told about us waiting for the money, I was just like, ah, yes, I remember.
Bro,
What?
I missed a checkpoint.
Oh. Like, goddamn, dude. This is not a track that we'll see in the race playlist. Oh my god, the fucking jump camera bullshit. I went the wrong way. Fucking hell.
There's so many things wrong with this track.
I swear to god, dude, if you pick this for a fucking sprint, we're gonna have to make some new sprint rules.
I'm never picking this, dude.
Okay.
You don't have to worry.
I was gonna say, you had to pull with some wild shit in the sprints, dude. I mean, yes, the landing here lines up perfectly with the checkpoint. Like to see it. I think the only thing that's gonna save this track from getting the fucking lowest possible rating is the memory of us fucking waiting for the money for 10 minutes.
Definitely, yeah.
That's the only thing that's gonna save this track from getting a fucking F, dude. Like, because that was just one of those things, like, you think of an old moment, it's like, yeah, that was fun back in the day. So, waiting right there in front of that fucking blue building. Who gets the money first? Yeah. So, I'm gonna give that a... Switch back to my screen here. I'm gonna give it an E. What are we collectively giving it? E?
Yep, I'm fine with that.
Alright. So Cranstonburg, you gave it an A?
Pittsburgh, yeah, I give it an A.
Alright, next we have the Davis Mall Grand Prix. That is the one that I made today, and that is with the open wheel cars.
Honestly, can't rate this one yet because I haven't done it enough.
I mean, I feel I can rate the one with the... I mean, I feel like I can rate them since I've tested it. If you want, we can hold off on these two and come back to them towards the end.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's go to Diamond Casino 500. This is one that I made for a video. This is like, we were building so many tracks, I was like, ooh, I want to do a track for a YouTube video. Made it on the dirt track at the casino, and then it went down one of the roads and back up. I personally thought it was a pretty good track. I think it was one of the better ones that we've raced on the dirt track at the casino. I feel like I would rate it a C. What do you think about this track, gamer?
I'd rate it a C too.
Alright. Next up, we have all these fucking tracks to go through. Alright. Eileen Guabati, GKT, that's the go-kart track. I know you didn't like the jump on it, but...
I would say it's say it's a C. I think it's fair.
I think I'd give it a C as well, just because it was a solid start for my first go kart track. All right, dude. Trying to make a fucking massive mode. All right. Elingu Abadi GP. This is the one that I did down by the dock, with the start straight there, and then you went down to the little helicopter area back around to the road and zigzagged over the water. I know of all the ones in this category, that was one that you ranked a little higher, or you actually kind of liked.
Wait, which one is this one again?
It's the one that's over by the dock that then went down towards the helicopter area. And then back up on the road, and then there's a little bit of zigzag track over above the water. The other part you didn't like was the jump down towards the pits.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought it was. I just wanted to make sure. That was the first one?
Well, there's the Grand Prix and then there's Rally. Yeah.
Bro, someone just fucking set a... How much of a bounty did they just put on me? I don't know, they just put some amount of money on me for a bounty for stealing a bicycle, dude.
Dude stole a bicycle. Alright, what are we going to rank this track, gamer?
I would say that it is a D.
Alright, I'm going to go B, because I personally like that one. I personally thought that was a very good track. So you're going to give it a D? I think collectively, will we go C on this?
Sure.
All right, so then we have the reverse layout of that same track. I know you like the reverse one better because the way that the pit or the ramp worked at the area. Give it a C. I liked that jump less, so I'm going to give it a D, and I feel that that puts us on a similar area of a C again. Now, this is the Elingu Abadi GP2. That is one that's up in the hills. I think we only raced it once, but kind of zigzagged around a little bit. I don't know if maybe this is one that we should try since we've only raced it once.
Yeah, I'll try it. I remember it faintly, but...
All right, so after that we have the Elingu Abadi Rally. This is the initial one up with the oil field.
The oil field. Okay.
So this is the one before it went down towards a little scrap area and then...
I would say that this one was a... B.
A B? Okay. I mean, I would agree. I think that that one was a decent rally. I think it's one of my better ones that I did. So I'd agree with that one. Now we come to the reverse one. Same area.
I didn't like the reverse one as much. Just didn't have that same effect, that same feel, so I'm gonna go with a D for this one.
Yeah, I have to agree on that. The reverse one was not good. Now we come to the Rally 2. Um, and this is the one that we did in the playlist a lot. Had the scrap area, had the little extra loop around at the bottom.
Gonna do B. Think it's I didn't like it too much more than I liked the first one. To be honest.
All right. I personally really, really like that track. I think it is one of my best tracks that I made. So I'm gonna go all the way to an A. My first A for a track that I made. So you went
Is this O'Reilly?
no.
Okay.
So you went B. I went A on that one. Where you think you're at with your B rating on that?
It's like a high B.
I think we should rank that one an A collectively because I'm like high A on that. That's like one of my bets, one of my favorite tracks. I don't believe this is the track that we really did much of. I kind of just made it one day. We have tracks that we make that never make the playlist. This is one of them.
Damn. So much shit you hit.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to block it off more, but I just didn't really have, I think, the props to do it, maybe? I don't fucking know, dude. The will to live? I don't fucking know. As you can see, though, this is one of the tracks that I did put a decent amount of effort into making sure all the stuff was mostly down properly with the ground. I believe this is one of the first ones that I made after Power City. Oh, wait, I don't think I changed the screen. Wait.
Got 3 laps this track.
I mean, this is one that I'm proud of for the fact that I did use a lot of the like things that I learned from when you came over and we made Power City. So just from that standpoint, I'm gonna rank it a little higher. But I feel like it's not that good of a track.
No, sorry. Trash.
Race playlist moment here, just chilling, not saying anything because there's nothing to talk about because the track's shit.
Yeah, I gotta do 1 lap next time, 'cause I have to get to work tomorrow at like 10.
I honestly didn't realize how long this track was, so. And we definitely got to start getting through some of these tracks faster because we're only on like 30 and there's 117 or some bullshit.
Oh my god.
Get fucking tossed. Another dub for your bizzle. So proud of that one. Alright.
No.
So that one, I'm gonna give D on that one.
I'm gonna give that one an E.
Collectively, we can give it an E because I don't give a fuck. All right, Alingu Abadi Rally 3, Sandy Shores. This is where that one is at the Sandy Shores Airfield. I know you're not a big fan of it. I give this one. I'll give it also a D.
Alright, I'm gonna give it a D as well.
All right.
I don't think that 2 could be. I think 2 is the worst.
2 is the worst?
Oh, well, 5, yeah.
2 is the one we ranked the highest.
Or not 2, fucking. Whatever one we just did.
Oh, because you're thinking two different things. The rallies and the GPs are different things.
Sorry, gamer.
All right. We have the Rally 4. That one was in the mines.
Oh. Never mind. That one's an F, sorry.
That's what we're going to have to discuss because I think that I did a good job on that track. I think that that was one that I personally enjoyed. What the fuck is this shit? That I personally enjoyed. I really like that track. So I'm going to give it a B. So this is the first one.
Big difference.
This is the first one that we have a real far like disagreement on a rating. I mean, most of them we are, a letter or two off. This one here is almost the top, almost the bottom. So tell me what you or at the bottom, almost the top. What do you think about this track? Like, what do you dislike about it?
I think that it's too long. I think that it is in a bad spot. Like, the quarry is in a bad spot. It's just you used all the bad spots. The way you built it, it wasn't. I don't know. I didn't like the race that much. That for those two reasons, purposely, like, what?
That was one that I was disappointed that you didn't like because I genuinely thought you would when I was making it. I think that I really like it because it's a location that nobody uses, and I think I did use it in a unique way. And I like what I did at the top of it with the platform where you drove across it. I do agree with you. It's a bit long of a track. So I'd be willing to go to like low C, high D just for that. But that's kind of where I'm at on that.
That sounds fun.
Going, which one? Low C, high D. Where are we going?
I mean, is this for the?
This is us collectively. Like, I feel D is the best spot because we each have to go down like to it, or you have to go up to. I gotta go down to. So, all right. Then we have the one in Grapeseed. This is, I think it was a solid one. I mean, it doesn't stand out to me, so I just give it a C just for that. I mean, kind of forgot that I made it.
Yeah.
All right, next we have the Roval. This is the first Roval that I made, the first track that we seen on the platforms, which then of course led to the FTX Roval and the Airport Roval, or Airport Bullring. So it led to both of those tracks. So I think that helps this track. I think it was a solid layout. It was with the hot ring, so I know that they didn't really grip that track that well. So I'd give it a C just because of that.
This is the one in Sandy Shores?
It's Sandy Shores, but it's the platform that I made that we raced the hot rings on.
I like that one. Give it a B.
Okay. Collectively, I mean, I'm fine going up to B if you agree with B.
Yeah.
All right, Malaysian Loop Grand Prix. We got through all the Eileen Guabati tracks. That took a while.
Now, the Elysian Loop, that one originally was a GP track, and you'll see in a couple of rows here that I started a while ago. I had this phase of tracks, just like I had with the phase of tracks where I did the version 1.7,260,000, like that shit. I had like phases in my race creations, and when I was naming my races GP, that was one of the things. And this was one of those races originally, but I went back and I had edited the race with more recent parts from the creator. So I think that with the changes, the Grand Prix is a lot better, and I would give this a... I'd give it a C.
All right, let's see. What would I give it? I feel that this is a track that I thought was creative but didn't really like it, if that makes sense. So I would give it
Yeah.
I give it a D. And it's not so much the new one, it's remembering how bad the old one was. Anytime I see the name just Elysian Loop Grand Prix, it is in my mind it's just I hate it here. So and I mean so many times I crashed on that bridge on those stupid bales of hay or whatever the fuck they were.
Yeah.
So where do we go in collectively? C or D?
I think C, because mine's a high C.
Okay. FCW Grand Prix, this track was one of the ones that I made with anticipation of the open wheel cars coming out. Because looking at the picture here, it has the pits, but for some reason I never made it an open wheel track. It was me making tracks in the sky. It looks kind of shit, if I'm honest with you. I'm going to give it a E.
I'll give it a D, I'm not sure.
All right. We can go D or E, whatever one you feel.
D, I guess.
All right. Next up is the FCW Grand Prix 2021. This is the one that I made in the sky. That we liked the Aramco Los Santos GP 2022. This is the older version of that. I would give it a C just because the other one's better.
I want to give it a B.
You're going to give it a B just like the updated one?
Yes.
Okay. I I'd be willing to go B on that one if you want. I mean,
Alright.
all right. Next up is the Elasian Loop, F1 Elasian Loop Grand Prix, same as the previous Elasian Loop, just with pit stops, right?
Yes. Now I like the F1 Elysian Loop a little bit better, just because it wasn't. It kind of. I totally understand what you're saying, where it has the element of like the old Elysian Loop. So with the F1 cars, it kind of strays away from that because that wasn't in the game back then. So I do like this one a little bit better. Um, and where did I get the other one? C. So I'm gonna give this one a B because I really did like it with the pits and everything.
I mean, I think I agree. I'll go up one score. I'll go to a C, but I kind of want to stick at a C collectively. I feel the Elysian Loop as a track, both of them should stay C. Like how firm are you on B? I guess.
Um, I mean it's a pretty solid B.
I personally don't want to go higher than C. Like
That's fine.
I think that's one that we should leave at C. Las Venturas Grand Prix, of course, I gave you the recommendation to make the Las Vegas Grand Prix after that was announced for Formula One for next season. So I really like the Las Venturas Grand Prix. I think that's one of your best tracks you made. I'm going all the way to A. I absolutely love the way that track flows, the way you use the hills, and then the way that just the whole layout of it. I really, really enjoyed it. I liked the pits on it. It was creative.
I did too. I mean, I definitely did that track justice, and for all the reasons you said, it's definitely worth the A.
All right, next is the FTX Los Santos Bull Ring. This is the one that raced with the um, Buffaloes, like the original one, the oval.
I would say that I'm gonna say B.
I'm gonna say B as well because my experience racing that against dudes. I know you weren't in that because I think you were making a track at the time, but my experience racing that with dudes was really really fun, and I enjoy that track. So next up we have the Roval. This is the one also that we used the Buffalo on before the pits that I added today. I think the Roval on this track is interesting. It's not as good as the oval, but I think it's good. I'm gonna go C on that.
I as well.
All right, then we have the Roval GP. This is with the open wheel cars. I personally didn't really like it.
I did if the open wheel cars didn't have that like the two sharper turns. So I'm gonna give it a C.
I'm going E just because this was me looking at a track and saying I can put a pit there. So I don't really think that it was that good. I'd be willing to go to a D though if you want to collectively go to D.
Sure.
All right, next up is GOAT's original 2022 version. This was me making the track with the props above the layout of my first ever track in GTA. I think it was a solid track. It was cool to use with the whatever those cars were, supercars. I don't think it really was the greatest track. I don't think it was the worst. I think I'd throw it at a C.
I think I'm gonna give it a C as well.
All right. Now we get to some of your tracks.
Uh, First up we've got GP Galileo Road. Um, Honestly, I don't remember this.
That was me with the WCW Grand Prix like a few minutes ago. I was like, what the fuck is this track?
So, don't think it stood out. I'm gonna go with D.
From what I remember, Galileo Road, I liked at the time. I thought it was one of your best tracks at the time. I'm in between D and C. I'll go D just because we haven't raced it so long. So, other one that we agree on. Ron Ring 2000. What's this one?
I am not a big fan of this. This one's going through Davis. It's around the hospital and next to Franklin's apartment. And it's next to the Ron gas station, and like you drive in the middle of the pumps. It's a whole thing. I hate that race so much, honestly.
I'm gonna go E just based on what you're saying. I don't remember it, but
I hated it, dude. I'm gonna say F.
I'm fine ranking it F if you want, because you obviously remember it more than I do. Sonora Circuit.
Sonora Circuit. I believe Sonora Circuit was the updated version of Sonora Speedball, which was the most iconic track ever made by either one of us. However,
Bro, did you even put
it
Sonora
was
Speedball on here, dude?
I should have. Did you not write it down?
I didn't think you wrote it down.
So we've got.
All right, so would you rank on that one?
Sonora Circuit. I'm rating. I'm gonna rate a C.
So this is Sonora Speedball with newer props, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it C as well. I mean, it was an upgrade of a iconic track. I think you did a justice to it.
I mean, I did justice to it. It was a better track. It's just it's not like I couldn't have done anything more to make it like better, right? And it's not going to be better than Super Speedball. So,
All right, next we got Vinewood Relapse.
I'm giving this an F as well, just because I hated it so much. It's more the off-road section in the second half.
So this is the one that went
made it.
down from the top, around the side, and then back up towards the Hollywood sign, right?
Yes.
I personally did enjoy that track. I personally did. I'm willing to go C.
Yeah, fucking course you did.
I'm willing to go C on that. I think collectively, E is a spot to go for it, though.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have Hemlock Woods Vermont Rally. Tell us about this.
Well, a recent new addition to the track list, Hemlock Woods has made for a short, almost every single time we've raced at it. It is definitely more intense than the Vermont track that I had made before. And I mean, I have made Vermont. This is the first Vermont track that's popped up in the track list, but Vermont is a popular state.
Wow.
Let me finish what I said it. Vermont is a popular state for track creations, for me at least, because there's a lot of like different things that I see that I think are, I could relate to Vermont. And Hemlock Woods, it was a very fun track to build, and it's a very fun track to race. I'm gonna rate it a B, just because I think it could be like we could race some more.
Have I told you about the state of Vermont before? So I do just want to acknowledge the reason that we mentioned shorts so much is not necessarily just because they're creating content for us in a easy to cut out of a video way. The shorts really are ways for us to reference since we started doing them, and I don't even know what episode 120 something probably. It's a way for us that we kind of reference short 1 minute clips, like because obviously then we upload them onto YouTube, onto TikTok, but it's something that it's just a good way for us to reference, like, hey, what was wild, and then to think what tracks that were definitely does provide into this. So I'm gonna give it an A, just because of that one playlist deciding moment, honestly.
All right. I have a high B, so really we can vote this thing A. I only voted it B because I wanted to see more in the playlist, but yeah, it's definitely say it's worthy of an A spot.
All right, next up is Hospitality Suite. What is this?
This one is a race where you jump off of like this area that's like next to the hospital.
Okay, I had it right in my mind. All right.
And that's about all I can say. I don't remember the rest of the race. It goes through the tunnel
I remember that.
the
Yeah.
Mario Kart tunnel run goes through. But other than that, really, there's just a jump at the end is the most crazy thing about it. Again, it was my attempt to do a stunt race before stunt races were a thing, and failed. So I'm going to go with E, because that race was kind of trash.
All right, E it is. Jeddah Corniche Circuit.
I'm going from a trash race to a absolute fucking wild race.
I'm just gonna fill in our collective score because I already know what it's gonna be.
Jeddah, I do want to talk about this for just a second.
Oh, of course.
Jeddah was the first race that I had made that was based off an actual track, obviously suggested to me by the gamer.
Yeah.
And really, I just instantly found like the best location. He gave me the area, and I was trying to find. I did a lot of research on the track itself. I thought it was really interesting that it was in a wild country like Saudi Arabia, and I thought that the layout was pretty interesting. So I tried to do my best to.
Missile strikes included in the track too. Don't forget that.
I tried to do my best to like recreate it best I can, and I think it came out very swag. And I think that we should do a lap of Jeddah here.
Okay. Now for me, I'm just gonna be honest. If there was another tier that was like the top of the top, like obviously A is the top, but if there was like you had to pick one track, Jeddah would be that track. That this is my favorite of all the ones that you made, and I said it like pretty soon after racing it. Just the way that you made it, the walls being so close, and honestly, a good section of it is basically, if you look at it from top down, would just be Jeddah flipped, and just the way that it races, the way that it is, it's the track that you made look the best like an F1 track, and it really shows the amount of research that you put into it. So for me, Jeddah is the top. If there was one track on this entire list that I would put at the top, it'd be Jeddah.
I think that was the least surprise here.
So let's look towards the next track that we have, the Lager Light 500. Now this is the one that I made the Lager Light track back when I had tire barriers, and just based on the fact that it's the tire barriers, I'm going to give it a D. It's down in the sewer section. It's a cool track. Don't get me wrong. Once we get to the 2022 version, I'll definitely rank it higher, but that version with the tire walls just was not doing it for me, like thinking back to it. So, and honestly, the next one is the Lager Light 500 Joker. I'm going to give it the same score. I mean, there's no different. The interesting thing with that was when we were first experimenting with using Joker laps on tracks. back in 2020, we were starting to do that. Obviously, didn't really get into tracks until 2022 here, but we had a little bit of looking at having Joker laps for tracks. So both of those will get D for me though. But the best track that we have on this list right here. Bro, we need Jetta.
And just really,
What?
just really how it fit all together. Oh my god. Just really how this track fit all together is, hold on, gamer. Stop right there at the end. I want to do a proper race of this thing. Like,
I mean, genuinely,
I lost my one the first fucking...
Can't get back in the pits, gamer. Honestly, the only thing about this track that if there's a single negative, which of course everything can't have a negative to it, the trash cans on the track, which you couldn't do anything about, and if you get stuck on this curb, you're kind of fucked. Like, those are the only two things that this entire track has that are negative at all. Like, everything else is good. I mean, that pit is a little obnoxious leaving it, but for the most part, I mean, can't have everything perfect. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh shit.
Now, we had this track when I was absolutely dominating on the open wheel tracks. I did this whole track with, like, out a front wing. Like, you put me in a BR8 on this track, dude, it's fucking over. Did you ever win on this track in the playlist?
I don't think so.
Most tracks in the playlist we've both gotten wins at in the time that it was in it, but I don't think you did on Jeddah. I think it was like Mid-Ohio when we did that one recently. Like, I don't think you won that, or I know you didn't win that one.
I did win Los Venturas.
Yeah. It's weird racing Jeddah, like, thinking how many things we have in the playlist we didn't have at that point. We didn't have bets yet, and we didn't have... I don't think we had bets. Maybe we had it like once.
Bro, we didn't have Moon Lagoon.
We didn't have Moon Lagoon. We didn't have...
I don't think.
Maybe I think
Actually,
maybe
we might have had the first... We might have had one or two, but like... Or no, we would have had one.
We didn't have... But in the playlist, we didn't have bets. We didn't have... locked classes. Like... Jeddah's got to come back. That's one that's on the list to, like, get brought back in the playlist, like, very soon.
That's good. Yeah, Jeddah fucking... Odd track. I want to build another track. It's just, it's very hard to be able to come up with an extremely precise track. Like, it took me, like, hours upon hours. I think it took me, like, 8 hours to make that track.
Yeah, why do you think that I picked for my F1 track to recreate was Caesar's Palace Grand Prix, dude? All right. So I'm assuming Lager Light 500 Joker's gonna get the same score. I mean, it's sort of the same thing with just an extra little platform.
Yeah.
Lager Light 500 2022, I did enjoy. I'd bump that up to a B.
I really didn't think it was any better. I mean, it didn't have the pieces, but to me, it still just wasn't it. So I'm gonna say a D.
Is that what you want to keep it at as a collective score too?
I mean, we could have it as a C.
Okay. Next we have Los Santos City Circuit. This one here used to be called Lewis Hamilton's Washed. I changed it. I didn't feel that was a name that I wanted to keep, as we discussed in the most recent race post that we've recorded. After that video, I decided to change it. So that's the new name for it. I think that it was a good track. Um, I just feel like it was a bit of a long track.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it C just for that. I think besides that, I think it was a solid one. Now, next you have the Los Santos E Pre. This is not the one we just tested before this video. I'm going to give this one, honestly, I'm going to give it an F because that shit was trash.
I'm gonna give it an E, solid iron.
All right, I'll go E as well. Now, Los Santos E Pre 2022. That was the one we just tried before recording. I know you did like that one when we did it.
Yes. The E-Pre, that one. Hope to see that one on the playlist sometime soon. But I've definitely got to pull out my A. Wow, C. I'm definitely gonna pull out my A for that one. I really just like the whole track. I mean, there are points. There's like one turn I think on the hairpin where it's like a bit tight and you hit the wall. But if that wasn't the case, then it would be perfect. And I don't want that being the reason, why I don't like the race. So I'm gonna rate it an A.
Now, I'm willing, honestly, to jump from C to A as a collective rating because it wasn't a low C. Like, it was a B. I just didn't feel like kind of like how you had with the Hemlock Woods. Like, you wanted to give it an A, but you didn't really feel like you raced it enough. So, if you feel like it's an A, I mean, I'm okay with an A because I was basically at a B anyways. So that makes sense. All right, next we have the Los Santos Street Circuit. This is the one down by the docks.
All right.
I think that that's a track that I would give. I feel like I'm gonna give it a C. All right, next up is the supercar version of the track. Same as that track, just racing with supercars instead of open wheel cars.
Maybe this one C as well.
Next up is Circuit 2. This is the one that we went towards the highway, and then went underneath the highway and then back up. I really did like that one. I think that that was one that I would give an A.
I'd give it a B.
All right, so what do you... How far are you on your B? Like, is it a low B, high B?
It would probably be a low B.
All right, I think B is the score to go for then, because I'm on like an A, but it's not like super high A. The reverse layout of that track, I don't like the reverse on that track, so I'm gonna give that D. What are you giving the reverse one, Gamer?
I'd give it a D as well.
D. Okay. Let me make sure I switch back. I did. Okay. Supercars on the same layout. Hello? My controller died. That's a first. Gamer? Fuck. Let me just adjust this real quick. Gamer?
Yep.
My controller died. Fucked up my audio. Alright. Supercar version, I mean, I didn't like the supercars on that track as much. I know you thought the supercars are better than the open wheel cars on it, but I'm gonna go C here.
And that's not reverse supercars.
That's the same as the one that you gave a B, but just with supercars. So I mean, I think it's B collectively then. Rally, this is the one that cut in through the cargo like containers a little bit weird. If you remember, like, I don't know if you remember the rally layout of it at all, but it didn't
Not really.
it didn't really do much. I mean, it was the same as I think it was the same as one with a cut through. I don't know.
Leave it a C, just a fair score.
Now I think that 4, that one, I'm gonna give it a B. I think that one had a solid alternate version, kind of like 2 had. It didn't go on the highway, but it changed the direction through the cargo. So instead of going like further in, you kind of went straight and then up, and I had like a little loop section that I made myself. All right, next we get to LS Sewer Run. This is you got a long stretch of tracks that are all yours now.
All right, so the LS Sewer Run is a track that I made relatively recently in this timeline, and it is one that I mean, I don't really know what else to say about it.
It existed. It was there. It was a C for me.
Like, it definitely.
It's unique, but it doesn't do much. Oh, you gave it a D, huh? I mean, I'll go collectively D. I mean, I don't really care. LSX, though.
LFX, honestly, I'd give it an A. I love I love how the track constantly is changing from the split second that you're going into the tight fucking almost impossible to pass, almost because you passed me in the last fucking episode. um, Almost impossible to fucking pass.
Yeah, fucking fully sent.
Fucking like little road there, and then you go into an open area where you have to take the turn back around to where you start, going down the bridge. Like, that entire race is, there's something going on, and it's constantly changing. The pits, it's technically the same length as the regular track. If you didn't have to stop, then it would be quicker, so it's just wild. That's why I gave it an A, and it's a lot more intense than I thought it would be when I first created it. So I'm glad that we have a wild race like that.
All right, next up is mental aggression.
This is my one and only boat race.
I don't fucking remember this shit, dude. Wait, is this shit
This
down
is
the river?
Yes, this is up. This is where Bombay is.
Oh, is this the one that we had to let Cassie win on?
Yes. Game was just bad because he simped.
I did not simp. I
Give it
didn't.
an S for
I
simp.
did not simp. I did not simp. All right, I'd actually give it D.
Again, don't really have anything to judge based off of. D, I guess. I mean, there was a stunt jump in there, so.
And I mean, mental aggression reverse is basically going to be the same thing. It's just the opposite way down the river. All right, Midas Touch V 1.7.
This race is interesting because I think this is one of one of the first races that I tried to make that kind of featured like different parts of the map that I actually utilized. There was a bridge that I used to jump off of. Like it went right up the casino road there, and then you would jump off of the bridge onto the sewer. And it was a very interesting race for the time. And I remember we used to do it a lot back in the day. So, judging based off of the races that it gave us back in the day, I'm definitely going to give it a C.
I mean, I don't remember it. I'm just gonna trust what you're saying on it. All right. So now we get to all your go kart tracks.
All right. We've got Mario Kart Airport. Uh, Now I think we should judge these a little bit differently. And I know I'm saying this now. I know you had your Elingu as a baddie go kart race, but I'm thinking we should judge the go kart races based on them as a go kart race and not compared to the car races.
I mean, it's the same as. It's not really any different. I mean, it's just comparing how it is as a race. So. I mean, I
All right.
wasn't.
Well,
I wasn't thinking of it any different as a regular race. So I mean, I didn't.
okay.
That wasn't in my
Well,
mind. Like I didn't think, oh, this is a go kart track, so it doesn't stand up to a regular track. Like I was just thinking of it as for what it is. How good is it?
all right. I'm gonna say for airport, I'm gonna give it an A.
Airport was a playlist opener for a while through the randomizer. Um, I think Airport for me, I'm gonna give it a. This is difficult. I really like it. I mean, you have 3 go kart tracks that I really like, so I'm gonna put this one at a B.
All right.
Are you high A, low A? What are you at?
I'm just an A.
I mean, I think going B because I was deciding between B and C. If I'm honest.
Yeah. Alright, now we have the Butterfly Loop. The Butterfly Loop is the first Mario Kart track that I made, and it's a very interesting track because it goes kind of in on itself twice, back around to the converge point. So I'm going to say it's a B track.
I liked it. I think that one for me is like close to Airport. I put it between each other. That's why I was close on Airport for C or B because I didn't really know like which way to go for it. Butterfly Loop Reverse, I didn't really remember it that much, so
It's
it's
basically the same
yeah,
thing.
just the opposite. It gets B just by default.
There's some tracks that feel different. That one feels the exact same.
Yeah. College campus.
College Campus, that was the original one. So the one where the USLA ring
Yeah.
is.
Based on the uniqueness of it, I'm giving it C. Because besides that, I didn't like it.
I would definitely give it a C as well.
College Campus 2, I hate it and never want to see it again. It's an E.
Yeah, I'd agree.
All right, Crypto Arena, though. That one, that one's the best of all the ones you made.
I definitely like Crypto Arena as well.
Because, like, that was a thing when I was, like I said, on Airport. I didn't know if I was going B or C. Because Butterfly Loop was, like, a B. And I knew Crypto Arena, like, was an A. So, because again, these tracks, most of them can also be run with the tuner races. So we did a little bit of both on them. and that stood up on both. The reverse crypto arena, I don't really remember because we didn't really do it, so I'm just gonna give it a C based on that.
Yeah, the reverse crypto arena isn't really as wild because what makes crypto arena crazy is the jump at the beginning,
The jump and
and
then the dip down towards the like right after the jump, you turn left and that dip
yeah,
down, and when you
yeah, it's
go
pretty
up
wild.
something like reversing doesn't really work. Tangerine Park, I'm gonna give it a C. I liked it. It was kind of small though for the area. I mean, obviously it was supposed to be, but
Yeah, very small.
I think Tangerine Park reverse though I'd liked more. I'm gonna give it a B.
I did as well.
All right. Tell us about this one. I don't really remember this track.
The Motomami Street Race is the. It was originally made to test the tuner cars. Down in. I don't even know what this place is called. Borough Heights, which is like past the dock, or it's next to the docks. It's that area that had the. It's the tuner race that you hated.
Yeah, I didn't like it. Like I didn't remember much about it. I just know I didn't like it. So I'm gonna give it a E because I don't like that style of tuner races.
I'm gonna give it a D.
All right, collectively that would be D. Myrtle Beach. Oh my god. I don't want to talk about this track. Just give it a score and move on. uh, I mean, I do feel honestly that we should talk about it a little bit. I mean, I think that where you did a track was very unique. Um, I think had it been that layout somewhere different, I think would have been very good for say like
Bro, there's no Moon Lagoon in here.
how did we forget, bro? You forgot to write down Moon Lagoon. I'll add it in. Give me a second. All right. Give us a collective score for Myrtle Beach. I don't really care what it is.
Let's say overall it's probably a F. Because mine's a low E, really. It's not the greatest track. It is riddled with stones, and honestly, I wasn't able to put most of the barriers into the ground properly, so it's...
All right. What's the next track?
Next track is National International um, what does SC stand for?
Side
Street
course.
Circuit? Street Circuit. And then there was also the National International F1.
Is that in there?
Um, that's not.
Does it need to be?
Yeah, because that was a little bit more. It was way different than the supercar one.
All right. Give me 1 second. Got these new tracks in here. All right. So let's finish.
Oh,
Let's do national, international. This one's supposed to be F1, right?
yeah.
All right. Let's do national, international. Since we started talking about it, then we go back to the Moon Lagoon series.
All right. So National International F1. Um, that was a little bit more. Each one was interesting in its own perspective way because the Formula One had the pits, which were interesting because you could access the pits from, I believe it was either side. Maybe?
What was this track? I don't remember.
National International F1.
Yeah.
It was the one in the Life Invader area. You'd go around and swing back around, and then there was like you could go either straight
Oh,
or
yeah,
off
yeah,
to the
yeah.
side.
Oh, yes. Yes.
It was kind of a wild one.
So F1,
Um,
I remember the super. I think SC, yeah, it is Street. Sorry. Okay. F1, I'm gonna give that a C. I'm gonna do both at the same time. I give the regular one a B or the supercar one a B because the supercar one was very good. The F1, it wasn't.
yeah,
It wasn't as good. I mean, they were both very good tracks though.
yeah, I agree. I'd agree on that. I was trying to, yeah.
All right, so we're going B on that. So actually getting those out of the way lets us do the whole Lagoon series, Moon Lagoon and Noon Lagoon at the same time, which I feel does it justice. So why don't you start us off with the Lagoon series? Just tell a little bit about it before we jump into it, because I feel the Lagoon is sort of a collective series at this point. I mean, you've done 5, I've done 3. Like, it's almost a series that we've done together but separately.
Yes. So the Moon Lagoon series originally started because, well, if you guys don't know, I do art,
I guess I'm Wanyá, I
and
do art.
and my alias, my art alias is Moonchild, and that comes from a band that I really like and listen to whenever I paint, and I kind of adapted it, and I paint a lot of like moons and stuff like that into my art. So I decided, well, let me make a track that's kind of like dedicated to, not dedicated to me, but like it's kind of like, and like uh, just based off of like my artwork and shit like that. And um, the Moon Lagoon series is made. So I've made 5 different tracks. It is ended as a series, but I have gone back and edited some of the series. So I do want to start with Moon Lagoon 2 first, if you don't
Now,
mind.
let me just, I guess, say my part of it, because the Lagoon, I
Yeah.
I know you always reference as the Moon Lagoon series. I reference it as Lagoon because I feel like we both have done. I feel like I've done enough now to be part of the Lagoon series. I feel like I'm in
Yeah,
the
definitely.
Lagoon group. Um, so basically, my idea for this, because yours is obviously at nighttime. Yours, the moon is
Oh
out.
yeah,
It's Moon
yeah. I didn't
Lagoon.
even. I didn't
So
even just.
that's why it's Moon Lagoon, of course, based on your moon and art. So what happened was it was Moon Lagoon 3. You just created it, showed it to me, and I was like, this is kind of cool, but you accidentally had it to daytime. So I called it Noon Lagoon, which then inspired me to make Noon Lagoon, and since then we've had 3 of those, or 2 more of those after that first one. So it was one of those things that it was definitely inspired by your series. I mean, I do the same thing with the multicolor, like every track piece being a different color. Basically, all the props are different colors. So that's what makes this series so cool, is that we each have done so many of them. I mean, you got 5, I got 3. Um, and just the colors of it, I think the colors are so cool. I always like things that have a lot of different color to it. Um, so I think that is very cool, and I think that the series in general is just killing it. Obviously, I think that I may do 1, maybe 2 more, just to each be at 5. I haven't really decided on that yet, but and most of them have one interesting element to them that makes them unique. So that's also one of the cool things about it. So you want to start with Moon Lagoon 2, though?
Yeah. So the reason I want to start with Moon Lagoon 2 is because um, the original Moon Lagoon, for those who aren't following the series in the race playlist, was not ever featured in the race playlist to begin with. because Moon Lagoon was fucked up. Moon Lagoon is a race that we've been doing for a while, but each lagoon kind of has a general like idea to it, and then a unique idea, like Gamer said. And so the overall idea for Moon Lagoon and Noon Lagoon is that it's on the water. It's got like a certain time of day that it takes place in. So Moon Lagoon originally was at this area where you can kind of like swim or walk through this stone on the beach, and it was a giant like door-looking stone that like reached a little bit out into the water, and you could walk out to it. It was pretty cool. So I decided to build a track there, and everything went fine until it rained. So the first time we did this race, this is not in the playlist. It rained, and
I don't think the issue was just in the rain. I think it was just in general.
it might have been both. Yeah,
I think
but,
it was in general.
So, but when it did rain, the water levels go up extremely high, flooding the whole track. You can't do anything. And on the regular track, when I built it, it was way too low. So, whenever the waves would come up, the cars would hit the water and kind of just lose all momentum. And on a Formula One race, it's unacceptable. So,
Also, very much in the playlist. And the other thing is that a lot of these tracks do have spots where water may clip through or the right wave. So we have to sort of be careful with the whole series to not race it in the rain. But the initial Moon Lagoon was the worst for that. And it was a very long track.
yes, it was fucking brutally long. So, with Moon Lagoon 2, why I'm starting with that is because Moon Lagoon 2 was originally made because Moon Lagoon 1 fucked up. There was only supposed to be one of them. And then I made a second Moon Lagoon because that one fucked up in the same location. And I made that. It went well. I included aspects from the first Moon Lagoon. And then I was like, you know what? I need to make another one because I just wasn't satisfied. And then that's when the Moon Lagoon series started to build off, since I had 2 and 3, because I didn't name Moon Lagoon 2 Moon Lagoon 1, because I already had that one still saved. I made 4, I made 5, and then I went back and edited 1 so that it had its own little features, and we can still have it to race in the playlist. So I'm going to start with Moon Lagoon 2 here. That was the one
I think we should go 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back to 1, just sort of in order that it actually happened.
Yeah. So, 2, that was the one originally at Moon Lagoon 1. And I think that one, that was the one with the jump and the Joker lap. That's the Joker lap in the F1 race is what is unique about Moon Lagoon 2. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. It's made for some pretty dank races.
Dank loopholes.
Pretty dank loopholes. I'm going to give it a B.
Now, I feel that Moon Lagoon 2 is... I think what we should do also is just not give our official score until we have all Moon Lagoon and Noon Lagoons ranked.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So Moon Lagoon 3.
Moon Lagoon 3, that was the one at the lighthouse. And the unique bit about Moon Lagoon 3 is that it was the first Moon Lagoon in the first F1 race to kind of utilize the up track piece. So I had put the up track piece, and then I kind of connected the I don't know what the fuck it's called, the L track piece, and I connected that and another one so that it kind of came up, and you'd have to change elevation and drive at a slant. And then also what's really unique about Moon Lagoon 3 is that the pits are actually before or right up against the lap gate, so it is, you have to pit either from lap 1 through 3. Otherwise, you don't get to pit because
Of course, it's
or
race pass rules.
Yeah.
It's 1 through 3. Yeah, yeah. Because then if you go on 4, then so you have to pit 1 lap earlier on that, and we found that out in one episode.
All right. I'm gonna say it's C, to be honest.
All right, Moon Lagoon 4.
Moon Lagoon 4 was one of my favorite Moon Lagoons up until I made another one. Moon Lagoon 4 was, it actually drove through a cave, which is a very interesting piece there. I also utilized the up and down track pieces, and it had a zigzag chicane as well, which didn't really make too much of a difference unless we were racing with a bunch of people. This one was fun. I would rate it high B.
I guess I should say my explanation for my scores. Moon Lagoon 2, I feel, is the best Moon Lagoon. Moon Lagoon 3 is right there. It's very close. I kind of memed the playlist that I was not going to put Moon Lagoon 3 in, just to bug you. But I think Moon Lagoon 3 is really good. Moon Lagoon 4, I don't know, there's just something about it that I don't like. I don't like, I guess, the almost crossing over, or the crossing over when you go through the cave. I mean, I like the cave area, I just don't like the way that it crosses over.
Okay. And Moon Lagoon 5. Hear your reasoning.
What do I get to break down Moon Lagoon 5?
Yeah.
Alright, so Moon Lagoon 5 has a jump through that trash area. What did I call it earlier today?
Sludge fucking...
Sludge hole?
Toxic.
Sludge hole.
Sludge hole, yes.
Alright, so Sludge Hole Lagoon, basically it goes through kind of like the kind of dock area where it's a little bit nasty. The jump is really cool. I feel it doesn't vibe with Moon Lagoon, like the series, because it's kind of like upright, on the water, chill vibe, and I feel like that going through an industrial area a little bit kind of isn't that cool. Now, it has a few crossovers, a few different routes that you go on. I think that's very unique. And the jump over the blimp, if you get it right, it's faster. If you get it wrong, well, you're fucked. So I think that it's interesting. But I'm going to give it a C just because that portion of the track doesn't fit the vibe of Moon Lagoon as well.
Alright, and I'm going to give this Moon Lagoon a rating. I actually love this one the most. Just because it's based off of my most recent painting that I just finished not too long ago as we're recording this, and it's just really swag to do that and kind of make Moon Lagoon because of that painting. And yeah, I like the creativity that I did with that area and with the stunt tracks, so that's why I gave it an A.
Alright, so let's go back to Moon Lagoon.
Moon Lagoon, so Moon Lagoon, we're going to go back to this one. Again, like I said before, I retouched it up and I re-released it, so I scrapped the whole track, and I re-released it, and now Moon Lagoon, I don't think it's been in the race playlist yet. Has it? Yeah, it has once.
No, it's been on the ones that we're currently like recording, so
Yes.
Check it out in Ebby's to Debbie's Wild June.
So...
Was I supposed to say that? Fuck. Well, I guess I know when this video is going out now. Alright.
So, Moon Lagoon is, I had to go back and scrap it, like I said before, because water was clipping through the stage. So, as I was going through and kind of rebuilding the track, I was building up the first part, and I kind of was fucking around and I was like, well, what happens if I make the track go back the other way and kind of go over the mountain? That was my original idea. And then I decided to put a little ramp underneath the same road that the that you start on. So it's kind of a bridge that was made that you have to drive under, and it's really cool. If you guys haven't checked that out, definitely check it out in the playlist. For Moon Lagoon, though, I'm going to give that an A because I really love that the utilize of that idea. And
All right, so we're gonna rank the three Noon Lagoons, and then we'll get back to our collective score for both of the lagoons. So Noon Lagoon, the initial one, I feel this had the same issue that original Moon Lagoon had of being a little too long. Um, I liked it, but I felt like it was a good start for my half of the series, but I feel like it was a bit long of a track, and
uh,
it didn't feature a unique characteristic like all the other tracks do. All the Moon Lagoons and my other two Noon Lagoons have a unique characteristic, and that one didn't.
I'm going to vote. That's a B track because I really liked it. I like that you had the idea and you actually like went through with it and made a race based on it, and you definitely like tried to do the track justice. And I like that you added all the elements, threw your own spin in there with the daytime. So it was really a surprise for me to see.
Nice, that's cool. Um, Noon Lagoon 2. Now this one I was supposed like basically for me the lagoons basically like you had. It was gonna be one thing. I was like, okay, you had the Moon Lagoon. You know, you accidentally put Moon Lagoon 3 in the daytime. Noon Lagoon, we did it once, and I was making a track after the FTX Roval. I modified that, or I made that from the bull ring, and I landed on the beach, or the creator took me to the beach. So I was above the beach, and I was just like, what if we had open wheel cars on the beach? Also inspired by one of the rally tracks we did that featured on the beach. And it was one of those things that I just thought it'd be super cool, and I started building stuff over the water, and then I was like, this should be called Noon Lagoon too. So it became Noon Lagoon 2, and the element with the beach is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, uh, definitely something I haven't seen before. Driving open wheel cars on the beach is not my typical Saturday, but
It's a
it's
Red Bull
definitely
Saturday, though.
a wild concept to see out of the blue. However, the track itself had a couple of different like water spots, and it, there were a few areas that just like were elevated, so it was harder to stop, and then you'd like go around a corner and you'd hit something. And I do really like the track and what you did with it, but it's just like there's small bits and pieces of it that I don't like.
I thought you were going A on that one for a second, if I'm honest. Um, all right, Noon Lagoon 3. This is the newest in the whole series. It doesn't really feature necessarily a super unique part. It kind of takes what you had in Moon Lagoon 3 with the banked high up corner. So it's kind of similar to that. It's definitely a cool track, but for the lagoons, I feel like it's another C for me.
Okay, where was this one at again?
It's the one out over the water we did today.
Yeah,
I don't remember like where it was. It was over the water, dude. um, but you started, then you went and took a left turn, another left, and you went up on that banking or the corner turned, and you kind of got launched if you hit it wrong.
oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
It also took an element
Um,
from Moon Lagoon 2 with the tilted up corner piece a little bit.
I really like that. Besides that one like elevation part, which you can't really do anything about, I really like that track.
That one,
So
that one for
I've got
me.
to I've got to go to A.
Keep going. Yeah, that one's an A. That one for me, I really took inspiration from different Moon Lagoons for it. We had the corner like tilted up. That was definitely part of like Moon Lagoon 3. Moon Lagoon 1, like we had the track crossing over itself. Not like for a long period of time, but that part did go over the start line. And then the tilted up corner piece from Moon Lagoon 2. So it was definitely inspiration from that, for sure. So let's go back through now. Moon Lagoon, we have a B and an A. How far are you on an A on that? Like you high A, low A?
I'm high A on that one.
Okay, I'll go A on that. I was definitely like high B. Moon Lagoon 2, A and B. What we think on that?
Um,
Because I'm high A on that. I'm high A.
We can go A then. I'm just a regular B, so.
All right, Moon Lagoon 3.
Buzz.
How far are you C on that? Like where are you at?
It's mid C, dude.
All right, we'll go B on that one then. Moon Lagoon 4. We got a B and a C. Are you high B, low B? What you at?
I am just a B.
Because if I'm honest, I'm like a low C. So.
We could do C.
All right, and then I know this is your favorite one, so I'm assuming you're high A on it.
High A, yeah.
I mean, I can definitely go B. I don't know if I go A though.
Alright.
All right, and then we got Noon Lagoon. We got a C and a B. Are you like? Because I mean, we can go B on that one if you want.
Yeah.
All right, Noon Lagoon 2.
B.
And then this one, I think we go B as well.
Yeah.
All right, we are getting towards the end here. We can get all the tracks we got to fill in on one page now. I mean, we did skip 2 in the beginning, but we'll go back to those. Oakley Rally Raceway. We're out of the lagoons. We spent like half an hour on lagoons.
Needed though.
It is. That's
so. Oakley Rally Raceway is the raceway at the Red Bull Lights track. It is one of the first rallies that I had made, and I mean, at the time, it was one that I fucking ate your ass in. And then shortly after, you started to get better rallies and kind of turn that around. So, Oakley Rally.
I mean,
What do you think?
I'm at C on that one. I didn't like the regular version that much.
Eesh. I'm gonna say B.
All right. We can go B on that one then, if you want. We'll go collective B. Now the reverse one though, I am a big fan of. It's one of my favorite rallies. I'm gonna go A on that.
I'm going B on that one.
I thought that's another B then. All right, Ocean View Grand Prix. This is one that I made. That it was there. We went down the road. It was in the rain, if you remember that.
Yes, I do remember that.
It went around the shops at the bottom. What do you think on that one?
I like that one. I think that's definitely a B track.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go C, but I think collectively it can be another B. All right, now this is a unique one. if you guys notice, this is the only track that the whole time it says creator next to it that it has, you know, one of us. This is the only one that has our names on it together. Of course, we made this one together on a video, and I believe that track was originally called EpiCW 10-year T track, but it was one of those things that didn't really slap when we were trying to get people to join it. So we changed it to Power City Grand Prix, which is a brilliant name, and I think it really works with that track. Right around the power plant. I mean, this one here is an easy choice for me. It's going to be A. Just making it together, it was so fun. I definitely recommend checking out that video if you haven't. Now, the reverse one, I went in later myself, changed it into reverse, and I feel like the reverse doesn't really kill it. Do you want to go B or C? I mean, how far are you on B? Okay, we'll go C then. Power City Grand Prix 2. This is the one that I made that went up towards the wind farm. I'd give that one a B. I think that it's unique. I definitely liked it.
I thought it was unique, but I just wasn't a big fan of the length.
Okay. I think that one we can go C on then.
Yeah.
I know the connecting bit in the middle wasn't really that good. All right, let's do the Richmond Hotel Grand Prix and then GP2.
All right.
This obviously inspired some of the hotel layouts. Went through the hotel area, the Richmond Hotel, obviously. What you got on this one?
I'm putting a B down.
I'm going D. I don't like it. I like that he used the Richmond Hotel, but that's pretty much it. The rest of it from there kind of falls off. So I think we should go collectively C.
Yeah.
All right, and then GP2. This is the newer layout. Also D.
I like that. I think that it's a higher B for me. But
For the newer one?
yeah.
I mean, if you want to go B, we can go B on.
I don't think it's B. I just think it's a higher B from
Okay.
the other.
Okay. Sebring 12-hour race.
Ooh.
I put 0 effort into that shit. I know you wanted me to make Sebring. I tried to follow it. It just didn't. Sebring wasn't doing it for me. Maybe had you given me like a track that I knew about more and was interested in more, I would have put more towards it. But I think Sebring really wasn't doing it. So now we get towards the big category again. This is a big one, gamer.
Ooh, Sonora International Speedway. So Sonora International Speedway was a race that was actually made last.
Is that the one in Sandy Shores?
Yes. That was the one that was made last in the Sonora series. Not that the Sonora series is over, but I just don't have any ideas for it right now. And that track is pretty wild. It features a lot of crossing track pieces, and it's really wild if you have a bunch of dudes in there. You cross in 2 different spots. You cross the first path about like 5 or 6 turns in, and then you cross again with the starting line all the way at the end, a little bit further down from that point. So it is kind of wild to see all that happen, and to do that race as well And yeah, that's why I give it an A. I think it's a really good Sonora track, and definitely deserves its rating.
I definitely liked it as well. I mean, I wasn't as much of a fan as you were, but I mean, it's a high B. So if you want to go A, we definitely can. Sonora Rally Raceway.
Sonora Rally Raceway, I would vote this a C, actually.
What is this one?
This is the one with the shortcut with the thing where you could drive over and drive off to the side and um, had a Joker lap.
Not memorable at
This is the one where like the first like 10% of the track was like you have to drive back through the dudes that were driving there.
all. Oh yeah. Even though I remembered, I'm still giving it a C. It was okay in the moment, but
Yeah, I wouldn't.
so we're giving that as a
Wasn't the
collective C.
top Sonora track? Definitely a C. Yeah.
Now we
Here we
get to the
go.
big one.
Sonora Speed Bowl. This track, Sonora Speed Bowl, was the track that I think started really race creation off for all of us.
Yeah.
It was a big. I mean, it was probably one of the easiest things to make in the time. And at the time, I was doing some races with my ex, and we used to go to the Waterford Speed Bowl, which is a uh, track.
It is a track.
I don't know what to fucking call it. It's fucking tuner. It's not a tuner
Okay.
car track. It's
Okay.
fucking.
I'll explain. Waterford Speed Bowl is just a local, short, oval track that you would see all across the country. There's different ones very similar to it. It's the local one, closest one to us. And yeah, it would be something that you would see like either drivers that just, race for fun during the week or early stages of trying to move up towards getting into NASCAR. And sometimes you'd have NASCAR drivers come there, do events. So it's just your local little short track that you would go to on a Friday night or Saturday night.
Which is exactly what we did, and that's how the race was made.
Now, you
So,
made that one on a video back in like 2015, right? 2014? When did you make that? Was that Xbox track? Or was that
2014,
PlayStation?
yeah.
That was Xbox.
Sonora Circuit was
So Sonora Circuit was the upgrade of Sonora Speed. Now,
yes.
we're going to do these tracks that I made here and the loop at the same time. So basically, a few months ago, we gave each other the challenge of picking a track that the other person had made. And we gave it to, we picked one track for each other to create. And I gave you the Los Santos Street Circuit, basically that whole group, pretty much the first one, second one. I gave you those. You gave me Sonora Speed Bowl. And we had to come up with our own interpretation of that track. Keep it similar, make it your own, though. And it was very fun. So we'll start with the Sonoras because we're already there. So I did similar to what you had done when you made the GP Sonora, whatever it's called, GP Sonora Circuit. So I feel that mine was a little better than GP Sonora Circuit just based on the fact that it was newer. And I wanted to keep a lot of the elements that made Sonora Speed Bowl what it was. So I put a lot of the older props, but then I mixed it with newer props. We had blimps, we had some signs around, but I tried to keep it basic to that. And pretty much the same loop. I did have one spot that turned because I wanted to make it a little different, but I very, very much kept it unique. So, or similar. So I'm going to give it a B.
And I'm going to give Sonora Super Speed Bowl a C. Wasn't my favorite. I like what you did with the area. It's just I don't know. It's hard. I feel like it's hard to really recreate a track like that. At the time, Sonora Speedway or Speed Bowl was like the fucking track. So it was hard to
Yeah,
make something better than that.
it was hard to do, and I mean, I know in the moment when we raced, you definitely said it did justice to the track, so that was kind of cool. And also another note: Sonora Speed Bowl is the only track that either one of us have made that is in our 16 best tracks, like that we did in the race bus, basically.
Although I think we need to add Jetta to that list.
I mean, I definitely want to keep it at 1 for us, so we have to decide if it's going to be Jetta or Sonora. Now, what do we want to rank Sonora's Super Speed Bowl? Like, collectively. Like, are you low C, high C? Like, what's your C range? Normal C?
It's just normal C.
And I'm definitely at, like, a mid B, so... Do we want to go C or B? Let's see. I'm still thinking B. I mean, unless you're firm on C.
It could be B.
All right, now we have the reverse of that one. You don't fuck with that track. Just leave it the way it is. It didn't need to get a reverse, so I'm going to leave it at an E. So let's go to the loop. We're going to hop down here. We'll come back to the other two in a minute. Tell us about the loop.
Alright, so the loop was basically, like Gamer had said, it was a race that was supposed to mimic the LS circuit that you made.
Yeah, it was Los Santos Street Circuit.
And I think I did a good job kind of utilizing the area. Well, I did a good job utilizing the area that the toll booths were in and around the side, because I think I copied like one of your ideas and like kind of made a raised track for the loop. I'm not sure.
See, I think the thing is, I like the loop. I think that it was a solid track. My issue with it is that in the challenge of making the track similar but your own, you definitely went and didn't really put many elements of what the track was before. Like, you didn't really use that much of what I had built, where when I did Sonora, I definitely did a lot. I mean, I did the whole layout of Sonora basically the same, just one little change. Where the loop, it was entirely different. I mean, you had the start grid was at the same spot, and you used that part of the highway, but that was it. I mean, it was very open. Mine had a lot of walls on the track. So for that, I'm gonna give it C. I really enjoyed racing the loop though, but going through the toll booth fast is also toxic.
Yeah.
So what are you ranking it?
A B. Oh, a B.
All right, is that low, high, mid?
Mid B.
All right, we can go B on that because I did enjoy racing it. The loop reverse though, dude. Sorry, gotta be honest with you. Wasn't.
Yeah.
All right, we'll give that a D. So we're working our way through here. We only got a few left. Sunshine Circuit.
Alright, Sunshine Circuit is one of those races that was made right before Jeddah. They actually had a lot of inspiration, a lot to do with the inspiration in the making of Jeddah. Sunshine Circuit, I think I'm going to give a C.
Okay. I think that there was elements of that track that was very good. Um, I think that it. I think it raced well. I definitely enjoyed it. I think the reverse one's very similar. The issue they both have like, well, the reverse one you have the issue with the glitch where you get stuck on the ground. In Sunshine Circuit, but you can go a little faster through it. So I don't know. They're both good tracks. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I think that going C on Sunshine Circuit and then B on reverse is good. Now we got the Goats Playground. This is you proclaimed in the description your best track you ever made.
Yes. No, I proclaimed that because one, I wanted you to like, I made it for you, and I wanted to kind of have it be like a fucking like sandbox F1 race track, because like you're a really good racer, like we stated in the past couple of races, or race playlists. But I want to really like see in the limits of that. So I made a race that has completely off the wall fucking shit that you would not see in any other um, F1 race. It's got corkscrews. It's got raised track pieces. It's got split roads. I mean, it's pretty wild. So I think that's definitely it's an interesting race in that sense, and I think it's a very hard track to do if you're not one of us. So that's kind of my approach there, making that track.
Now I'm gonna give this a C, but it's a high C because I think what you did with it is good. I haven't raced it enough to really, I guess, get a feel for it and judge it properly because we only did it like one time. My front wing fell off on the loop, so I didn't really get a, or I blew up or whatever happened. So I fell way behind. I didn't really get a proper vibe on it. But I think going B overall for us is a solid one, and I think that once that hits the playlist, because it hasn't hit the playlist yet, it will. I just want to let you know it will be in the playlist eventually. I'm just trying to get some things cycled out, and then we'll get it in there. All right, now is the Toronto series.
All right, so Toronto F1 Super Speedway is what we're going to start off with today. The F1 Super Speedway was, I think, a lot better than the sports cars just because of how like tight the track was. If you were racing with cars that didn't have a lot of grip, I know going into the corner right after the giant fucking tube.
Now, question:
It's toxic. Yep.
the Super Speedway, is that just the circle, and the Rovals?
No, that isn't the whole track. That was modified after.
Yeah. See, once you
And
change the names, you confused me.
Okay, yeah. So Super Speedway is the entire track,
Okay,
the
so
new
that's,
entire track.
okay, and then Roval's the older, smaller one.
The Road is the older, smaller one, so I kept that in there originally. That's no big track at all. Toronto Super Speedway
Okay.
is the regular track. Or no. The Toronto Roval has the Super Speedway, but you can't access that section.
Right. Okay.
Toronto Super Speedway is the regular one with the regular cars, and Toronto Super Speedway reverse with the regular cars.
I'm just gonna put my thing in here before I forget. This is my score. I think that the one with the open wheels is interesting, but I definitely like it without open wheel. I think doing it with Sports Classic on the Roval was very fun, and the Super Speedway with supercars or sports cars was very fun. So that's my thoughts on those. I'm willing to go. I'll go B for the F1. I just think the reverse one. I'll go. Yeah, we'll rank them all B. They're all very solid.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Thing. Next we've got the USLA Rally Ring. Now I took inspiration from the Mario Kart College Campus track, and I made my own race there with the rally cars. And I think it's a really dank track, especially since it's gonna be pretty wild for the race plus. So,
And we have the
um,
trick that we use now because we found out we did I think it was LA Memorial Coliseum in the race playlist that we found the person put a checkpoint further down and then used the secondary checkpoint for the track. So we were able to use that as a way to make smaller tracks in an area that should be raceable. Now, this one, the Speed Bowl, I liked it. That's got A potential. The Rally Ring, I don't really see a need to do rally cars on that track. So that's the only reason why I'm ranking that a D. I mean, it's the same exact track. I just think
yeah,
that the version with the rally cars doesn't feel necessary to me. So I'd be willing to go with C collectively on that.
I would like to do that race with you at some time again with the rally cars because you do get a different experience with the tires
Okay.
and shit. Like it feels a lot different.
Okay.
Um, but next we have the Vermont F1 Raceway. The Vermont series, the Vermont F1 Raceway, the Vermont Race Ring 2022, and the Vermont X Sonora Endurance. The Vermont F1 Raceway was the F1 track that I had modified specifically on Vermont. The Vermont Race Ring was just Vermont track, and the F1 is the race ring but with F1 cars. And then Vermont X Sonora Endurance is a point-to-point because all my point-to-point races have endurance in the name. Um, Vermont X Sonora was Vermont track with a connection piece over to the Sonora racetrack, Sonora Speed Bowl, and then there was another connection piece back onto the Vermont track to finish it off, which I thought was really fucking cool. So I'm going to give that one an A, and the F1 Raceway, honestly, I'm going to give that one a B. Race Ring,
So the raceway I thought was unique because we were racing on the dirt with the open wheel cars. Again, not something we had done before. And when you made Vermont, I think it was right before the track builder for open wheel cars came out. I think we raced them in free mode on that area, but we didn't actually get to use it. So that was very cool. The race ring, that's just the normal layout, right?
yes.
All right. So I think collectively we can go B on that. I think Vermont Endurance Sonora like that. That one's goaded. All right. This your newest one of your newest tracks, right?
Vicenza Sport, yes. That is the one at the beach with the two separate
Yeah.
equal runs. So Vicenza Sport, honestly, definitely has a potential.
I think it's one that I just want to race a little more. I mean, that was a low C. I definitely think B is the appropriate overall score. I just want to race a little bit more, though, get used to that. Now, the brand new track, this is one we only raced once right before recording, but I really enjoyed it. I genuinely enjoyed it. I'm going to go B just because I don't think a track we raced once should be in the B tier or the A tier.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only reason I'm going B. I think that track very much can be an A tier track, and we race it once or twice more. I think it will be racing the playlist. I just don't think that a track we done 5 laps on deserves to be in the same tier as Sonora Speed Bowl. And Jeddah. Zancudo Air Base Circuit. Now, this is the one that you made on the air base based on the GTA track that they had, right?
Yes.
Once you fixed the light issue on that, that was brilliant. Because that was my favorite open wheel track that Rockstar made, was the Zancudo track. So I really liked it. I think collectively another B. That brought up some controversy and a short.
I don't think I love that track. I love what I did with it. I love how it races. It's just like there's just something about it. I don't know. We haven't raced it a lot, or
I think because you didn't like the open wheel track that was there initially too.
that might have been it.
All right, so Zancudo F1 Motor Speedway. So the Zancudo Motor Speedways, those were wild. Now I'm gonna give this one an A. I don't really remember the other one, so it's gonna get a B.
Zancudo F1 Motor Speedway is just like it's basic, but the Zancudo Motor Speedway with the supercars, sports classics cars, that shit's just dank. It provides wild races. I mean, I don't know how many shorts we've pulled just from that, and how many wild moments we've had
I don't even know if we had
in
shorts.
every single lap.
I don't know if we were doing shorts and that was currently in the playlist. We might have had like one towards the end. I don't think many shorts, but I think moments we had. I mean, when we loaded up and raced with dudes on it, that shit was wild. So you going A on that one?
Going on, I am.
All right. Final three that you have. Zancudo Rally Raceway.
This was the one on not in Zancudo Air Base, but in the hills. The rally race had that jump.
Yes. I always forget that it's called Zancudo because it's so far away from the military base.
Yeah.
I always think it's down in like that marsh area. Zizek's Road Endurance and Rally Endurance are the same exact track, just one has blocked rally cars. So I assume whatever score we give one, we're gonna give both. I mean, if I'm honest, it's a C. It's very cool what we did, but it's kind of just basic.
That's right.
So we do have two more tracks to go back to, though. We skipped these two towards the beginning, the ones that I just made. So if I'm honest with you, the Grand Prix track is
I don't like it as much.
It's a C.
Yeah.
I feel that the one with the sports cars is a B. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be like top tier potential, but I like it.
Yeah, I think B and C are appropriate guesses. I mean, grades for them.
So let's see. We've ranked now all 124 tracks that we put here, and we're gonna sort this in alphabetical order. So we're gonna find out which tracks are A all the way down to F. Now, I don't think that any of these A tracks are surprises. I notice a lack of me having A tracks, and I find that racist. No, I think that Chansky Rally Cup Reverse, very fitting for A. Cranstonburg Hotel, I mean, that provided great moments in the race playlist. Eileen Gu Abadi Rally 2 really was one of the most iconic rallies. There's a decent amount of rallies in here. I think that's one that we agree are good tracks. Las Venturas Grand Prix, also a very great track and interpretation of that. Hemlock Woods provided some great moments as well. Jeddah Corniche Circuit. I mean, that's the one that we talked about as like the best track that we've had.
Yeah.
The one that's surprising is the Los Santos E Prix 2022. I mean, I think that's the lowest score that either one of us gave a track that's in the A category.
Yeah.
And that was one that I think definitely could have been more towards a B, because again, we only raced it once. But I think that for, you really enjoyed that one. So LSX, I mean, absolutely fantastic track. The Moon Lagoons killed it. Crypto Arena, Power City. I mean, let's see what tracks did we give all A's. Sonora Speedbowl, Vermont X Sonora, Power City, Crypto Arena, LSX, Jeddah. Where's Jeddah? Jeddah, Los Venturas, and Cranstonburg. So I mean, there's a few in there that are all A's that are like the perfect track. So I'm actually gonna do this. I'm gonna put the perfect tracks in red and bold. That way we know these are the top of the top. Because I feel like this is something that we can like refer back to.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna put it back to normal alphabetically after.
Bro, it's so fucking hilarious. There's 3 F tracks, and they are
Oh yeah.
GP Ron Ring, the Myrtle Beach Rally, and C Ring.
Oh my god. Yeah, we got to go further down and check some of this stuff out. I mean, honestly, a good amount of the tracks that we have in the A tier, we both agreed were A tracks. Cranstonburg, Los Venturas, Jeddah, LSX, Crypto Arena, Power City, Sonora, Vermont X Sonora, and Zancudo. At the bottom, though, fucking Ronering, dude. Myrtle Beach. That's pretty good, though, that we didn't have many tracks that we thought were, like, that bad. And, I mean, honestly, the 2 bottom tiers that we had, Plus at Home GP, Constructive Criticism, Corporation, Eileen Gu, Abadi GP2, GP Vinewood Relapse, Hospitality Suite, Los Santos E-Pre, Mario Kart College Campus 2, Sonora's Super Speed Bowl, Ron Ring, Myrtle Beach, and Sebring. I mean, honestly, I got a bunch of the bottom mid tracks though, gamers, so I'm offended. I'm hurt. It really pains me.
You should stop making tracks, and then that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, I should. I mean, I feel like we ranked a lot of tracks B and C.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not bad that a majority of our tracks we thought were, like, top half of the ranking.
Yeah, I mean, that's shows, I mean, our skills as creators and not putting out just garbage.
Yeah, because, I mean, honestly, the ones that I read off, if we go back to... I want to see... Okay, here's the thing. Let's see what I ranked high that maybe you didn't rank as a A. So, I ranked the Los Santos Street Circuit 2 was an A. Moon Lagoon 3 and 2. And then Oakley Valley Raceway Reverse. Vermont Race Ring. Zancudo Air Base Circuit. And then you had Jansky Rally Cup Reverse, Mario Kart Airport, Moon Lagoon, Sonora International, Von Cranstonburg, Airport GP, Los Santos E-Pre 2022, Moon Lagoon 5, Moon Lagoon 3, and Vicenza Sport Grand Prix. So there's a few that you ranked A's that I ranked as C's, but for the most part, we were pretty much even on that. I mean, there was more that I ranked low that you ranked high than, say, like the other way. Like, I didn't have one that was really low that you were like, or the other way. I didn't have one that was really high that you thought was really low. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you had a few that were A's that I had were C's, but Um, the only ones that I have for A's that you had as C's were Moon Lagoon 3 and Noon Lagoon 2. So you had more that other way, but it's very interesting. I mean, and the only track that we 100% agreed was an F was Sebring. That was the only one that we 100% said that's an F. The other two F tracks, we each ranked as an E, and then one had it as an F. So it's interesting some of the things that we got out of this. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think we can use this chart in the future.
so it's interesting. I sorted by our names, and every track that is a perfect A, you created.
Do be like that.
I gotta get a perfect A track at some point. It's gonna happen. So I think this will be something that we will obviously come back to. We will, as we add more tracks, we'll update it ourselves. It's not gonna be something we're gonna update in a video like, hey guys, we have one new track. Let's review it for you guys. But yeah, as we add more, we're gonna throw them on here and rank them, and maybe adjust the rankings as we go along. If something comes to the playlist, like I think that some of them, like the Von Kranstenberg, that's something that can definitely go to an A. I think something like, I don't know, some of the other newer ones that we have that we made, they can definitely get adjusted as they go up. Like the Airport Bullring Roval, we both ranked as a D, but with the modifications that I discussed making to it, it might be something that we move up,
Yeah.
So just looking at some of these tracks that we can potentially modify, make new versions of, it'll be interesting to sort of see where it goes and how we may change our rankings. But that's going to be that. Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was quite fun to do. I definitely liked going through each track. Took a while, but it's worth it.